Today we're talking about how your life actually changes when you get in shape. More specifically, the top 10 benefits I've actually experienced as somebody who's been working out for around 6 years. And I've been on both ends of the spectrum, out of shape, no motivation, no ambition, and in shape, lots of ambition and a lot of confidence. And if you don't know me, I'm Coach Eli with 412 Coaching, and we've helped over 100 people get in amazing shape by building solid habits with fitness, nutrition, and their mindset. So without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 10, you're gonna have more energy after you get in shape. Before I worked out, my number one complaint always was, I am so tired. Like, I would get good sleep, but I'd be waking up drained, have a shit ton of brain fog, and just feel kind of shitty all day. And most people I've talked to in my daily life who are also not in great shape have the same exact complaint. Obviously, there's so many factors that contribute to how tired you are on a daily basis, and lack of sleep is easily the biggest one, but there's so many other little ones that come from getting in shape that you don't really recognize. Nutrition is one of the main contributing factors to tiredness in general, like more specifically overindulging in carbs and fats all the time and high calorie snacks that don't exactly fill you up. You're gonna have a big spike and then you're gonna crash. And being sedentary also makes you tired as hell. One of the main things I noticed after getting in great shape was my energy was much higher. I would wake up and be ready to actually move around and get started with my day. I didn't hit that random 3 p.m. crash where I was just like on my ass for the rest of the day. And I also seem to start getting tired at night when I'm supposed to get tired. Number 9, you're gonna get a thicker skin. Obviously, training is pretty damn fun, but you can't deny the fact that it takes serious effort to do. You're repeatedly putting your body through pain and strain and stress with no sign of an immediate result afterwards. The results only come over time. And in the process of building yourself by repeatedly putting yourself through that pain, you're building yourself into a stronger person mentally as well. And one thing I really noticed after lifting for so long is I tend to not get bothered so much by little things that pop up in life because I kind of know what I'm capable of doing with enough work and dedication, that these little events no longer set me back tremendously. And I noticed my ability to solve problems also drastically increased after sticking with this shit. And that is a very reassuring feeling that you only get by building confidence by proving to yourself that you can do this stuff. Number 8 is better sleep. One of the main things I've struggled with for my entire life is being very restless at night. Like when it's time to go to bed, I would be like tossing and turning my pillows over, flipping around, trying to find something to do so I could get tired. And I would be waking up like 3 to 4 times per night. But after eating properly, having a tough workout, doing my cardio, having like a full, impactful day, I was actually ready to go to bed and I felt tired at night, which was something I hadn't really experienced before. The thing is like good sleep is more or less earned. If you spend all day eating like shit, moving like shit, not really doing anything, when it comes time to go to bed, you're left with all this anxiety and this pressure of the fact that you didn't really do much that day at all. Whereas when you have a full day and you're working out, you're moving your body, you're spending that energy wisely. When it's time to go to bed, you're ready for that shit. And the great thing about this benefit is it's a bit more immediate compared to others. Like if you just start working out and start pushing yourself hard, you're gonna notice this benefit almost instantly. Now, number 7, and one of my favorite benefits of working out, is a higher self-esteem in general. Self-esteem at the end of the day is just confidence. And how do you build confidence? By proving to yourself that you can do something over and over again and proving to yourself that you can actually do it well and get something out of it. When I was a teenager, I was a very stereotypical insecure teenager. I would always have slouched shoulders. I'd try to kind of hide myself. I'd keep to myself, kind of walk around insecure. I wouldn't speak up in conversations, or I never really felt like my opinions were worth being heard. And a large reason for my lack of self-esteem was based on the fact that I hated my body. Like I was like pretty much revolted by it. And the switch from that to where I am now has been almost impossible to wrap my head around. Once I built a physique I was proud of, I kind of wanted to show it off more. You know, I would walk around with more confidence. I became more social, more outgoing. I wanted to insert myself into plans a bit more, build friendships, build community, things like that. The most important thing was I didn't want to hide myself anymore because I was finally loving myself. Number 6, you are gonna get more respect from other people in your life. Look, I'm a big believer in not really giving a shit what people think, but at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be respected more and be seen as somebody who's trustworthy and can get shit done? I feel like most of you do. Like, nobody wants to be viewed as weak and lacking self-control. But the truth is, in many settings, if you're super out of shape and you're walking around all sluggish, most people are gonna view you that way. And it's not because they hate you, but it's a subconscious thing in the human mind. Like, when they see an out of shape person, they probably think, oh, this guy lacks some aspect of self-control and his mindset is a little bit weak, and they might not trust you to show up for them. Even if you don't give a shit what people think, it sure does help in life to have the respect of others. After building a good physique, I noticed this respect especially helped when I had to make a first impression with people. When I would meet new clients, when I would meet new connections that I was networking with. Having visible shape to my body helped me gain respect because it shows that you can stick with something for a long time and work very hard. People took me more seriously, asked for my lifting advice, asked for my nutrition advice, and kind of saw me as a role model in some sort. And that's kind of how I was able to even build my business in the first place, because I had that backbone of having a pretty decent physique. And having that respect can help you in so many areas of life, whether it's like dating, building your career, just building a social circle, really any aspect of life. And above all else, you'll have this extra inflated sense of confidence knowing you're somebody that people actually take seriously. Now, number 5, and one of my favorite benefits of lifting consistently, is the fact that I now have such a clearer idea of who I am as a person and what I stand for and kind of what my standards are. I remember like a while back in my life, I didn't really know who I was trying to be or what I was trying to achieve or even what my position in this giant floating rock was. So I kind of just always walked around winging it and kind of spinning in circles and shit. But the gym not only builds your physique, but it builds your identity as well. When you continually start showing up to the gym, you start thinking of yourself in different ways. You see yourself as somebody who's in shape. You see yourself as someone who's dedicated, who shows up for themselves. Somebody who loves the gym, someone who loves being active. You feel healthy. And those identities that you build transfer over into every other area of your life. Number 4, you are going to have a drastically improved work ethic. I genuinely do feel like going to the gym, although it didn't directly translate, it has made me become a much harder worker and somebody who can really just put my head down and get the shit done that I need to. And I know it sounds kind of stupid because it's very obvious, but one of the biggest lessons I learned is like the only way to move forward is to get the shit done. And I really did learn that through lifting, because you can research everything you want about lifting. You can, try to figure out everything. But unless you're like actually in there training your ass off and like ripping your muscles in half, you're not really getting anywhere. There isn't much thought and analysis that you need to actually move forward and get stuff done. And with those lessons I learned from working really hard in the gym, I've been able to work very hard in my career as well to build up my training business. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the prerequisite of building up a bunch of momentum in the gym. And when your mindset shifts in that way, you're kind of less prone to distraction, you're less prone to procrastination, and stuff just starts flowing a lot smoother. Now, number 3 is emotional control. And I'm sure any of you who've been lifting for a long time will understand this one pretty well. Like, going to the gym has been life-changing for my mental health pretty much across the board. Like, when I'm lifting, my only focus is lifting. And when I find myself in there, a lot of that anxiety and thought loops and all this bullshit that's kind of plaguing my mind, it really does just go away for a while. It's pretty much the only part of my day where I'm not consumed by thoughts. But aside from the benefits during the workout of just being focused on one thing and really driving hard, in general, you will feel more level-headed on a daily basis. It kind of grounds you in a sense. When you're eating like shit, sleeping like shit, moving around like shit, your mind is gonna be so clouded. You're not really gonna know what's going on, and you're gonna get a lot of anxiety due to unfinished things in open loops. But ever since I've been in good shape, my brain's clearer, I'm more focused, and I feel just a lot better about myself. And when tough shit does pop up, I really do know I can handle it. Benefit number 2, and arguably my favorite one, and it sounds kind of shallow, but you will feel hot. And I don't want to get too superficial, but it feels good to look good. That's just how it is. When you change your physique and get in great shape, you will feel very attractive. And that is a spectacular feeling. And I used to always hide myself. You know, I wore a swim shirt at the beach till I was like 18 years old. And it was like the same size one since I was a kid because I never got bigger. I was always like 100 pounds. In the summertime, I'd wear hoodies and sweatpants to hide my physique. I'd be sweating my ass off. You know, it was horrible. And it was a shit way to live. It was very mentally taxing. And I use that as fuel to motivate me to this day as something I never want to experience again. But holy shit, is it different when you actually just like lock in and get in good shape, and when you actually like what you're looking at. Not only will you get that positive attention from others, you will be excited to look at what you've built. You might catch yourself flexing in like every reflection you see, which some might see as vain, but I see it as confidence. Not only that, but you'll look forward to social situations where you get to present your physique. Pool parties, beach vacations, anything like that where you're kind of on display. You know, and I don't want to make it seem like your only goal should be to show off the physique that you've built, but it really does work numbers on your mental health when you're walking around, not only not having to hide yourself, but being excited to show people your hard work. It's okay to be a little bit self-absorbed. Who cares? The number 1 benefit is sort of a culmination of all of the other ones we just talked about. You will actually love yourself. I don't want to give you the false impression that getting in shape is the only thing you need to do to build self-love. There's like a lot of other avenues that lead to that and make it better, but it is a massive one. Look, if you have more energy, you're eating better, sleeping better, you have better emotional control, feel like you're respected from others, you like how you look, and you feel capable of just taking on life's tasks, how would you not love yourself? All of those things trickle into this system that makes you just exude self-love. And self-love can be a tough thing to obtain because it's almost never a constant. You know, if you have a bad day, your self-love on that day is worse. If you have a good day, it's better. But the surface level of self-love will be much higher after you experience all of those other benefits. And self-love, to put simply, is built through putting your best foot forward and taking actions that actually benefit you over a very long time period. But I am curious though, let me know in the comments if you guys have felt any of these benefits, and let me know what you think your number 1 benefit from getting in shape has been so far. And if you haven't started lifting yet and you're ready to feel all of these great things, book a call with my team down below and we'll spend some time together and help you build a customized game plan that will help you for the rest of your life and get in the best shape of your life.